Welcome to episode 3 of We Do Go to Ravenholm.
We do.
We made it. Oh my god, I can't believe we made it to episode 3. Holy f***. That's insane. A lot to talk about because it's been months. And I think we should start with, do you have a question for us, or is that for later?
That can be for later.
Okay. Well, I have something. Since it is the 4th of July,
Okay.
who is the most patriotic video game character out there? I think it's probably one of the American Gladiators.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? That's not a bad answer. Okay.
That would be mine.
I would say the George Washington things from BioShock Infinite.
That's a good one.
Maybe some pockets would say Duke Nukem.
Yes. Yes, I like that. Yes. Sorry, we're just adjusting. Things got a little crazy when you were answering
Patriotic.
out American people.
Patriotic, yeah.
Yeah. Mine would also be the those heroes from Allied Assault, Medal of Honor. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Medal of Honor? You never heard of that one?
Allied Assault.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What makes them patriotic?
Well, it was World War II, and they were kicking
And they
all
were the
Nazi
Americans.
ass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. So. All right.
What about the standout hit game America's Army for the Xbox?
America's Army. Was that the one that they always used to talk about on G4? There was
Maybe,
I remember
maybe.
a segment about that always popping up.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of patriotic games out there when you really think about it.
There's so many more than I realized.
What about the fireworks in Fantavision?
Nice.
It's perfectly thematic.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, moving on. Since it has been so long since
Okay.
we've had an episode, we should talk about where we've been. And the big one really is that we were at ACen in May. So we should probably dive into that and talk about our ACen 2024 experiences.
Cool.
So what do you think?
So for those not in the know, ACen is Anime Central, it's the Midwest's largest anime and pop culture festival. The last, I think, one that we found numbers for was they saw just over 25,000 attendees. So it's a pretty big thing. We've been doing it annually for about almost 15 years now. So it's something that we kind of look forward to and do every year. I think this was the first year I didn't go to any panels.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a lot of fun just like walking around this year, though, I think.
Yeah.
Was there anything specific you wanted to get into, like events or costumes or what
Well,
standout
yeah,
vendor
I guess
hall?
just general standout things. How highlight reel? Let's do a highlight reel.
Okay.
First, I mean, what'd you go as?
I went as the boat from Dredge.
Nice.
Somebody mentioned it was a whole ass boat. It was a whole ass boat.
We'll throw a picture of that up.
Okay.
And there's video on our channel of the short.
That's right, there is.
Being interviewed, yeah.
It was fun being a boat for the weekend. There was some people that were very convinced that I wouldn't make it the weekend in a whole ass boat, but it was a lot of fun actually.
And how long did it take?
Probably realistically probably like 30 hours from start to finish. And that included taking it apart at least once. So.
And what'd you go as?
You went with me the first day.
I was just random sea creature to accentuate her dredge cosplay.
Shin?
Yeah, Shin from Dorohedoro. And yeah, I think that was just those 2 days.
Nice.
Was it the 2 days? Yeah, yeah, because
think so.
we don't dress up on Thursday and Sunday. So, yeah.
Nice. And I was just Homelander from the boys.
The boys.
I think that was the longest that you've dressed up over the course of the time that we've been going.
Yeah.
Did you have fun with that? Did you?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I'm glad I cut the wrist things part out so that I could get my hand out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, other than that, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not super crazy about dressing up, but it's fun.
I think people got a kick out of it. It was funny running into other Homelander.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time I'll bring
Is that the plural?
Other Homelander.
Other Homelander. That was pretty patriotic of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was fun. Other highlights from the convention. I mean, was there like anything like...
It was kind of fun checking out again the pop-up underground dance party that happens underneath the Hyatt. Mm-hmm. I think the first day it was a little bit more subdued this year than it was in the past, but it was funny going back the next time and seeing all the people there and having the cops show up. I feel like I saw less fire trucks this year than I have in the past. Yeah. Less ambulances.
Maybe people are behaving a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. 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 I saw the medic team come out just one time, and that was it.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, maybe we just weren't paying enough attention.
That's true, perhaps.
That could be. Yeah.
You know, you got a chance to spend quite a bit of time in the arcade. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The only problem I run into is I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at any of those menu screens. So I'm just like, well, I guess I picked the right game. I think I'm playing it. And then it's cool, though. There's like peripherals that we don't have. Mm-hmm. Like, so there's a lot of unique things, like rhythm games, like that you just don't see anywhere else. And it's fun to play a lot of the really old school things. And they've got like the gaming sort of like museum sort of deal, like they did kind of like you see at the Midwest Classic, where they've got like gaming through the ages, like all different types of consoles set up for you to play, from Xbox to, well, they don't really have super old systems, I guess. I don't remember seeing.
They had
like
Nintendos, I think. I think there was at least one like top loader Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. There's a lot of stuff to check out and play. A lot of multiplayer games. It was fun watching karaoke. They have a karaoke set up in the game
that
room.
returned. Mm-hmm. It's been. I feel karaoke has been missing for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good to see it back.
You know, one thing I just thought of is for the arcade being 24 hours, good on the people. Like, there's no bullshit that happens in that arcade. You could be in there at like 5 a.m, which we have in the past, and like everyone's behaved. Like that's
a really good point.
There's no bullshit that goes on, which is, I guess, good. Like good.
Yeah,
that's nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, other than that, I mean, it is cool. It's cool to see it how packed it is too at any given moment. I mean, there's always certain machines are always filled. Like the drum games are always really popular. And DDR, someone's always on DDR going nuts. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a personal connection to DDR, but I will sit and just like slack-jawed watch people that are really good at that stuff at the rhythm games just go to town. It's like, that's really funny to me.
Yeah. So that's cool. Definitely a highlight. I didn't even make it into Pachinko this year.
No.
We tried to go in, and it was
I think this is the second year in a row where they listed hours, but like when we went, it was just closed.
Yeah. So, and it sounded like stuff was going on behind the doors. So
they were gatekeeping Pachinko.
Yeah, it was a private event. You needed a password.
It's terrible.
But it's always a fun time just seeing the large amounts of people, but just everyone being good mood and people having fun and it's just, I don't know, it's like mentally healthy being in an environment with people in such good moods. It's and at any time of day too. Like there's like no shortage of people despite like being like the dead of night or the morning. Like I think it's fun.
Definitely, yeah. And I'd say for me it takes probably a good like 3 days to recover to get out of the ACen blues.
You're back home.
Yeah, Yeah.
You do. I think even if it's not your scene, as I would say, it's like probably not particularly yours. You get that, like Chris said, those vibes, and you kind of immerse yourself in that for 4 days, and then you leave and you go back to work or you go back to school, and you're just like,
Yeah, people are.
yeah, your body's like, your body's
to
like
reality.
disconnecting to that.
Yeah.
You've unplugged the little dopamine plug.
Definitely. Yeah, it's sad, but every year it's fun. It's like it's a great tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely looking forward to it again already.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we should. Yeah, we should probably jump into it right now. It's probably a good idea. Let's go into Backlog Slayers.
Okay.
All right.
Backlog Slayers.
Backlog Slayers. It's the next quarter.
It is.
Ooh, yes. So we have new games picked out, and we got updates. So I
Yeah.
think we should jump into the updates first.
Okay, who wants to
Okay.
start?
I'll go in.
Go.
Sure.
So-
What did you have again?
I did Psychonauts,
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Mirage,
Okay.
and Crash Bandicoot 4.
Okay.
I beat all three.
Wow.
Whoa.
You were productive.
I did not get any really no extras at all for Crash Bandicoot 4, and I'm never going to play that stupid-ass game ever again. It's the
Bad, eh?
fucking most difficult, cheap-ass bullshit game around that they've made in the most recent era of platformers. Yeah, don't know why I ever liked Crash Bandicoot franchise to begin with.
Did you go back and play the original just to be like, this is still good, or is what the
No.
fuck was going on?
I never went
you go
back.
back and Mega Man 2, you're like, how the fuck did I do this fucking Flashman stage when I was younger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
You should go back and play a level or two of Crash. And
I'll
be
check it out. Yeah,
alright.
I played Insane Trilogy recently.
Oh, okay.
That was difficult. I do remember that.
I
being
heard
difficult.
the physics were a little bit different. They
Yeah.
didn't quite feel the same.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like that goes a long way.
I do feel like some stuff was off with the depth a little bit
Sure.
too.
Sure.
But that could just be me.
Sure.
But then Mirage was good.
Cool.
It just could have been a little bit better, I think. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the great stealth thing that everyone was saying it was. I mean, it was fine. It was better. It was a step in the right direction.
Sure.
And I liked that it was short.
Sure.
And the map, Baghdad was a cool idea for sure.
Cool.
So, and then Psychonauts was so good. I actually played the second one and beat that too.
Sweet.
So that's also bonus points for you for doing and knocking out another game.
So the first one was 12 hours and the second one was 15.
Cool.
And then Mirage was 15 and a half. Bandicoot 4 was 10. And then I did do Dead Island 2 as well. I finished
You
that.
beat it? You beat it?
I
Cool.
did.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And that was 15 and a half.
Sweet.
So
Very cool.
that basically was it, because the rest of the time I've been playing a lot of just online games and
Sure.
stuff that really you can't really beat. So
Yeah.
Sure.
so that's where I'm at right now.
I think you had an awfully productive quarter then
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
that. That's really
I
good.
would say
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Awesome. Checking in on kind of where we are at. So I finished one of the things from my backlog and finished some stuff that's not on my backlog. So from my backlog, I finished Evoland, and I liked it enough that I went and bought the second one and started that. I'm not done with it yet, but I did finish the first one and started the second one. It ended up being it was 4 hours for Evoland. Going to finish the second one for sure. It plays very, very differently from the first one, but it was really, really fun to get started. And then my big one was I had started Manic Mia at the beginning of the last one. I finished that as well. That one is ranked as 42.5 hours.
Wow.
So that was banking on that being one of my one longer ones that I wanted to get out of the way. So I'm done with that. And I am very close, very, very close to being done with Paper Mario.
Nice. That's cool.
So, but yeah, even just finishing Manic Mia took a lot of my time. That's a big, beefy RPG. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
All right. of the 3 games that I selected, I haven't finished any of them. I started Starlink. I'm probably through like the first sector, so maybe about a third way through.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Hearts, I'm probably close to the end-ish. And then
it feels like you've been putting a lot of time into that one.
well, just on and off when I have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Darkwood, I played pretty hardcore for like 2 days, and I have a feeling when I go back I have to start over.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
And I
that's
don't-
how it is.
did I play in did anything else? I can't remember.
I think that's kind of what I remember.
Okay.
Like,
I just
other
don't know
than
if I,
like
like,
what we started together,
Sure.
but
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So for the new list then, for the summer quarter, because there was a bit of discussion as to when we actually started. And there was a pilot episode that happened in the winter. So our first quarter was the winter, second was spring, and so now this is going to be our third quarter of games. And so for my list, I did a little bit of a variety here.
Okay.
Do we want to spin the wheel first before we name our next 3 games?
we could, since we have already
Okay.
picked our games.
Okay, so here we go.
What did we win?
5th gen.
Which is
93 through 98.
interesting.
So is that like
Does that put
it's
us like Super
PS1, Saturn?
Let's see.
You used to have a cheat key for this, baby. I feel that that's that era. So any games you have, like any 3DO games you have on your list,
It
probably
is-
not going to count.
You know what? It's the 32-bit, 64-bit, or 3D era. It is going to be Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Saturn, and PS1.
Yeah, I got nothing on that for mine.
Yeah.
Well, but I will dive into my list.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I've got, first I'm going to start with something old and something I don't think I ever got to the end of in my life, but I
Okay.
was always really obsessed with.
Okay.
I used to rent it from our local video store constantly, and
Okay.
it was Cool Spot.
Excellent.
Oh, good.
So-
Good choice.
Okay.
It's only a 2-hour-long game, so I might even just turn it into like a gaming gauntlet.
There you go. You get double usage out of it.
Yeah.
Double
Hell
And
yeah.
then you can have Tommy Tellerico tell you about how he created the soundtrack.
Yes.
Get him on the phone.
And the next game I'm going to do,
If that goes well, you have to put Yonoid on your next
Okay.
group, though.
definitely. And then Pepsi Man. And
I'll get all of the
brand
sodas.
so then next is Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Cool.
So
Cool.
I always heard good things about it, and
Yeah.
since the sequel came out, I've heard good things about that. So we're gonna check it out.
Sweet.
Awesome.
It's 17 hours.
Okay.
I think that's still digestible.
Finally, it is a backlog title now because it has been out for a few months. Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door.
Or years on GameCube.
And yeah, that's true too. So
That's
yeah,
the backloggiest.
yeah, that's true.
I think you're going to be very pleased. It feels very good.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to it. And that is, did I say the time on that already?
No, I don't think so.
That's 30 and a half.
Okay.
So, and those are my 3 games.
Excellent.
Cool.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
I think I am already well past the 30 and a half mark, but I definitely have been enjoying that game enough to like take my time and like really explore around. So
Cool.
awesome. Which one are you going to start with, do you think? What's first out of the gate?
Probably Paper Mario.
Okay. Get the big one
first.
out.
Does that game have a long intro like the first one?
It's an RPG, of course it does.
Yeah. The first one's like
Game is
it's
good.
unbearable.
Just give it like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to just do some chores or something. Do the dishes while you watch it. Scroll through.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So on my list, I am going to restart Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. I got very, very close to the end when I played before, and I somehow just got myself lost in a way that I could not figure out what I needed to do next, and I was just, for some reason, feeling really stubborn and didn't want to look it up. So I'm going to start it over from the very beginning and finish that one. That one's supposed to be 3 hours. I still have, I think, 2 long games on my backlog to finish, so I don't want to pick anything super, super long right now. But I'm excited. I really, really liked that game when I was playing it. So my second one is Tunic. Now that I have an opportunity to play it on Switch, I think that'll make it a little bit easier than sitting at my computer. I know that game is supposed to be a little bit on the challenging side in terms of some of the puzzles, but I did play the demo or beta before it came out, and I really, really liked that. It's beautiful, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, fun fact, I've never played more than like 3 hours of a Zelda game, so I think that'll be a cool way to kind of dip into that. And then lastly, I'm going to play another Code remake that came out.
Cool. Are you going to do both, or are you going to do the first one?
I want to
do the
just
second
get the
one?
first one.
Okay.
Because I did play Trace Memory to completion on the DS, and I'm interested to see what they do with it, considering the whole gimmick of that game was kind of showcasing some of what the DS could do. That came out kind of early on in the DS's lifespan, I think, at least over here. And so a lot of it was like solving puzzles with the fun things that the DS could do with 2 screens. Like what stood out to me, there was a puzzle where you had to stamp something, and you had to fold the DS closed and then open it up to leave the stamp. So I'm interested to see how that translates to not being on the DS. But yeah, it was a game I really liked, so I'm happy to get back into it. And that one, I think that How Long to Beat is calculating both games together, but they're saying 15 hours. So, and I don't think just the first one is going to be 15. So,
Nice. Cool.
But if I get through it really fast, maybe I'll just do both.
I feel it's obvious, but you never played the second one.
The second one never came out here, so
yeah, it's weird that they released it in Europe in English, but they didn't even bother bringing it over here.
The first Trace Memory did not do very well in America, and a lot of people complained about it, so I wonder if they just didn't think it was worth it.
Them Brits.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to all 3 of those.
Alrighty. I'm kind of going back and stinky because believe it or not, I have never played Batman Arkham City.
Wow.
Or Arkham Knight.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go Batman Arkham City.
Sweet.
I didn't get the time on that one. You inspired me. I am going to finally play Psychonauts 2.
Nice.
And then my third one is just something kind of a little more chill with how things have been lately. I'm going to do the first Tales from the Borderlands.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
So those are my three picks.
Cool. What is it? How do those play? Are they like
Those Telltale games?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But the writing was really good as far as I remember. I remember there being a lot of like good humor. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever start? Is that completely fresh to you?
No, I did play. Like, I played it back on PS3, and then when I wanted to go back, it was, like, delisted. Oh. So there was no way to play it for a while, and then they made the sequel, and they brought it back.
Okay.
So.
It's back.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Should we?
Yeah, that was Backlog Slayers.
Backlog Slayers.
Jeremy, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So I didn't want to shove it in the other segment. So you said the story was pretty good in Assassin's Creed Mirage. Mm-hmm. Based on narrative alone, what was your favorite Assassin's Creed?
Oh man!
And that answer right there is how I feel.
Yeah,
about it.
That's exactly it. I just skip all that shit and just get collectibles.
So you never really got like attached too deeply to the narrative.
Not really.
Gotcha.
I mean, the third one was good, pretty good, because it was kind of like.
Is that Ezio?
It was like. Or
was it 2? It was 2 Ezio.
I think 2.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the actual names, but it was like you follow like It was like a Native American dude.
Okay.
And
Sure.
like a Revolutionary War.
Cool.
It was very interesting. Like this stuff.
Well, would you say gameplay wise, from what you've spoken about in the past, is Black Flag your favorite?
Oh yeah, Black Flag was awesome. Yeah.
Or like gameplay, or like do you like remember the story from that one?
The modern day story was pretty cool in that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
because there was a lot of stuff, so like information to like uncover from like the offices.
Okay.
And it was actually interesting to like read about that stuff.
Okay.
But they didn't really like go too much further with it like later in the series.
So it seems like that's like the standout for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know why couldn't.
That's the blood money of the.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they couldn't make that other pirate game like that. Like that Assassin's Creed game. Would have been
Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
S&B.
Yeah.
All right. Quadruple A. It's here to stay.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Mm. This is the time we live in.
Mm-hmm. We've breached another A.
Yeah.
Ascended. All right, Jamie.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
What would be your video game white whale? And what I mean by that is not something that you would like to own that you don't have, but think about your fishing, you've got something hooked, and then at the very end you can't reel it in. Something you've probably like played and then just couldn't finish and always intended to like.
So something that you've always wanted to finish but you didn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have two.
Okay. Well, you know what my one is, so I'll let you say what my one is.
I don't know what your one is. I probably will roll my eyes after you say it, but I don't know what your.
It ends in a rhythm game.
Theatrhythm?
Drakengard 3.
Oh, yes, that one. Yeah, okay, I think that makes sense. You were very much at the end of that.
Drakengard 3 ends as a rhythm game.
Okay.
Kind of Devil May Cry style combat. But the final boss is a rhythm game. And it gets to the point where the cues that pass by the screen for the notes just go away. There's parts where they'll come back, but there's no beat. And once you clear the song and the ending is being shown to you right before the credits roll, there's one more note that appears that if you don't get it, instead of the credits rolling, you get the game over screen.
Oh my god.
So
it's really fun and encouraging.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So what were your two?
One is Final Fantasy X. I got a good chunk of the way into that game. I really had a good time with that. That was, I think, the first Final Fantasy game I've ever played. I got to a boss fight, and I really felt like it was bullshit, and it wasn't playing fair, and it wasn't that I didn't understand the mechanics. It's just that it wasn't good, and I stopped, and I couldn't go back to it. I know I should because I put a lot of time into it.
I don't know what fight you could be talking about.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember getting real mad, and I just could not.
Okay. What's your other one?
BioShock, the first BioShock. I want very much to love that game. I love the idea of that game. I love the look of that game. I love what I know about the story. I everything.
You know what you should see if you can find? Because BioShock exists on PC.
Yeah.
Do you know what else exists on PC? Mods. You should see if there's a third-person mod for BioShock so you can play it and not get motion sickness.
That's a good thought. I guess building on that, the last one, if I could get around me just getting sick, would be Twisted Metal Black. So.
Okay. Interesting.
Anything for you? Any game you ever played almost to completion, and then you got distracted, and you were like, "Why the fuck didn't I finish that?"
Well, there's definitely some that are due to difficulty, like roller games. I really would like to get to the end of that.
That's like classic, dude. Save states.
You've gotten pretty.
You got save states and rewinding.
Perfect Dark on Perfect Agent mode. I'm like 4 missions probably from the end.
Do you still have like your cart with that save data on it?
Probably do.
That's awesome.
What is Perfect Agent mode? Since I'm not familiar.
This is the highest difficulty.
Yeah, and like they add objectives.
Okay.
So like you have more to do on the levels.
Okay.
And your health is like nothing. You start with like 1 feces.
That's an official
measure.
Ravenholm measurement of health in video games.
Yes, 1 thing.
TM.
Yeah, so those two come to mind. I mean, definitely tons of old school games because I mean, when you're a kid, you just
you can only get so far.
Yeah. New game on my shit list is Ghosts and Goblins that I played for the Halloween gaming gauntlet, and I almost threw my controller to the window for comedic effect, of course.
Absolutely.
It wasn't truly raging.
No,
that'd be insane.
But it makes for good TV.
Yeah, but like maybe like for more modern stuff, like I got really hung up on the Moonlight Butterfly that one time.
I do remember.
It's so funny because of all of the bosses to quit in Dark Souls.
You are an Elden Lord, though. You can.
Yeah, now I can go back.
You can spank the butterfly.
Yeah. I don't really know if I have too much else I could think of. I'm sure there are.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question, though.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you.
So my only other thing is just to see if there was anything from the most recent Summer Game Fest, and if that we were anticipating or if we're excited for.
Well, the proper answer is Slitterhead.
Remind me again what that is.
That is the crazy action game made by the guy that made Siren in Silent Hill. And it's going to be the most beautiful jank ever.
And that was a good reminder that my original answer when I wrote that question about your white whale was Silent Hill 2. And I completely disregarded that.
I don't remember you see like.
I've played 2 or 3 times at least.
Okay.
And I played 4 to completion. I didn't finish 2.
Interesting.
Which is stupid because there's no. I know I put a ton of time into it. There's no reason for it. I don't even know why I stopped. I do remember why I stopped because the part where you have to run towards the screen, I couldn't do it, and I just got too frustrated and I stopped.
That part.
There's an escape sequence where you have to run towards the screen, almost like a Brave Fencer Musashi, kind of like, and I could not do it.
Jamie dropping the Brave Fencer Musashi.
Yeah. Speaking of old school PlayStation, Medieval would be another game that I haven't gotten all the chalices on, and that would be a good one for me too.
I mean, who has got?
I don't really know.
So, also tying into that, was it Summer Game Fest where we found out that Tomba is getting re-released?
I think
cool.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, Tomba's coming back.
That makes me excited.
Or not coming
That's
back, but re-release.
one that I played a lot on PS1, and I would be very, very happy to go back and play that modern.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
I think my biggest takeaway from Summer Game Fest, or is it games? I never really know. Is it games or game?
I'm not going to be that person. Like Game Pass and Games
You
Pass.
know what we're talking about. Knock it off.
But anyways, that Summer Game Celebration.
It's no S. So
Okay.
it's Summer Game
That
Fest.
event.
I think my biggest takeaway would be that it just is really cool to see that Microsoft has a pretty healthy looking future, especially when it comes to Game Pass stuff, the library. I was excited to see they're working on another Perfect Dark. It looked pretty interesting. The one that came out, which I think was a launch title for 360, that Origin one, Perfect Dark Zero.
I fucking forgot about Perfect Dark
too.
Zero. Holy shit!
That one was left a little bit to be desired.
It needed more time in the oven.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see they're not giving up on this property, and
It was so fucking stupid for them to. Or do you think do you think there's like some stupid like fucking internal bullshit now that Rare is owned by Microsoft to be like, all right, well, our pedigree shooter is Halo.
Yeah.
We can't have like like another one in house.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
When you say can't,
Well, when I say can't, the answer is won't.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. And like Fable, that's cool to see coming back.
I just I don't have good feelings about what they've shown so far.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like a Fable game.
Yeah.
It seems just more like character action focused.
I hope that's not true, but
And like, for example, like there was that, I don't remember if it was Summer Game Fest or I think it was something, maybe it was some other event, but there was that one where they actually showed gameplay where they were talking about it was like a CG, they were talking about that girl, and then it's the girl running and jumping and gameplay. But if that's the case, that's like a set character. That's not a create your own character.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Like I mean,
were the original Fable games that create your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can do a Fable game with established characters, but just do it as like a spin-off. Title it like From the World of Fable.
Yeah, that'd be better.
But like, yeah, because like, yeah, the characters and the like the good and evil and like that actually like visually representing like on your character, like it's the fucking character creator. That's the first thing you fucking see, I think, when you start the game. It's
right.
Like
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure somebody is excited about the Starfield expansion stuff.
I mean, the one that they showed coming down the way looks insane. I mean, good for them, but Bethesda.
Todd's excited.
Todd's excited.
Yeah.
So I mean,
does anything else really matter?
What about that Doom game?
I have some hopes for it because from what I read of Doom Eternal, and it was funny when Doom Eternal came out, there was something other like big attention-seeking game that came out, so I chose that over Doom Eternal, and it sounds like, unfortunately, I kind of made the right decision because like it sounds like in Doom Eternal, like it's very like, all right, you are in this particular scenario, you have to use the shotgun for this part. You have to use the rocket launcher for this part. And that's what Doom has never fucking been that way. Yeah. It's you use whatever you got and your experience
and you like it.
and your experience in situations about what works best for you as the player.
Yeah.
Like you could be really good at fucking not getting splash damage with the rocket launcher. You could be really good at being close up with a shotgun.
Right.
But to like make that have to be.
Yeah. Stop trying to put me in this box, dude.
Yeah. Like,
fuck.
What other fucking first-person shooters do that?
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
So the fact that the Dark Ages or whatever it is seems to be kind of going away from that a little bit. It might be cool. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Was that where we saw the game that I said kind of reminded me of like Killing Floor or Zombie Army?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, I had a brief excitement about that, just apparently not enough to remember what it was.
Yeah, Summer Game Fest feels like it was like fucking like years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they showed. I mean,
New Civilization.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a really silly looking game coming out from the publishers of Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, which one was that?
It had some people from Adventure Time were involved as well. Like had that same art style.
Do you remember what?
I can't remember the name.
Okay. I guess I didn't catch that attachment, so that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
All of the Blumhouse stuff.
Yeah, that was
I think that was
sweet.
surprising.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had that stuff going.
All those games look good. So, yeah, that was cool. I was not knowing that was going to make an appearance. So,
yeah. So that's all I got really for the rest here.
yeah.
I think that was the first. I know when we watched that stuff, we kind of fast forward through the stuff that we're just straight up not interested in. But I had good feelings when we were done this year. Just like, okay, there's some stuff to look forward to. Like,
Yeah. I feel like just this year in general, like we've just been getting like it's just a steady flow of like decent stuff.
But I don't feel as bad as last year. Last year was fucking brutal. Like, I don't even remember. I know that there was good games that came out during the time of Elden Ring. I just don't remember because that's all
there was
Yeah.
Elden Ring.
Well, I mean, this year it just seems like every time I check Game Pass, there's something new and like something to play. Like it's really cool. Yeah.
It's fun to be excited about stuff. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch our time?
Or should we run to the end?
Do we have any more? What else we want to talk about?
I had two brief little good gaming news things.
Well,
Is that something we can squeeze in next?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Excuse me.
So in keeping with the tradition of closing out with some kind of like positive gaming news, I had two things that I noticed that I thought were kind of fun. John Romero made an announcement that they are releasing, and of course I don't remember what the name of it is, because it wasn't something that was historically relevant to me, but it sounds like it was to a lot of other people. Catacomb 3D. People were saying it was kind of like the predecessor to a lot of first-person shooters that we have now.
I was going to say, is he going to make a fucking Apogee game on PC? Like
old
DOS?
PC game. They're re-releasing it in big box PC format.
Cool.
Everyone is going to be autographed, and
cool.
it's coming out in 3 different tiers with different goodies
What the fuck did
inside.
he have to do with that, though? Okay.
Maybe that was part of like groups of stuff he worked with.
That's what you do when you're rich.
But,
You're like, I'm going to buy this obscure license for this title and I'm going to distribute it under my name.
and at least the higher tier ones are coming with floppy disks and stuff.
That's awesome.
It sounds like there's a whole bunch of pack-ins in them like you would have gotten back in the day, booklets and stickers and I don't know, it just seemed kind of fun, and apparently like that was an important part of like PC gaming history. I know I got into PC gaming much later, so that wouldn't have been something that was ever on my radar. It was from 1991. But I'm sure like people are excited about that, and that's cool. The other thing was there was apparently a record broken. The world's longest delayed game has finally released after 22 years. There was a small team of 5 working out of Italy. They've been working on it since 2000 and 2002. And they were working on this game called Keen, I think, Kien, Keen. People say that it actually could have been a very, very early inspiration for things like Souls-like games. But they finally put it out, and it is available on Game Boy Advance. And there's only one guy, unfortunately, left from the entire original team that's still working on it. But he was able to put it out, and apparently, like, now was the perfect time because with the resurgence of interest in retro gaming, what stopped them originally, it's been done for a long time, but it costed apparently almost $15 to be able to publish a Game Boy Advance game. And they couldn't financially do it. It didn't make viable sense to do it, and now they can do it.
Wow.
So yeah, after 22 years, it finally just came out.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be so exciting.
I love having like all of these new games being like physically available.
Yeah, that's awesome. Physical media.
And I guess
rocks.
that was going to, at the time when they announced it, that they were starting to work on it, it was going to be the first game fully like developed and published in Italy.
It's funny, you can tell by the way that the game, or I'll say I can tell by the way that the game looks that it is not an American-made game. It just has like a
certain vibe.
Like a particular art style or like art direction, but sprites are awesome because they're fucking huge.
Cool.
Oh yeah, that's
Those
neat.
are some chunky ass Game Boy Advance sprites.
That's cool. Yeah.
Neat. Yeah, good for
Nice.
them.
Yeah.
Just kind of feel good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, good for them. That's awesome.
One more thing I will say.
Yeah.
Okay.
In gaming news, Ubisoft quietly releases Beyond Good and Evil remaster.
Oh yeah,
And-
with limited run.
Reassures us that they are still working on the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be open world and have towers.
It's coming out, guys. It's coming out. So that's it.
Okay.
How about you? Anything else for you?
Yeah, nothing I can think of.
Okay,
I love it. That gets us one step closer to Ravenholm.
sure does.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Congrats.
See you next
We'll
time.
see you next time.
GG.